The following video is one in a series on spiritual resilience training, a non-religious view of personal values and their dynamics with others. The contents reflect a variety of principles and practices of systems theory and relational counseling for team building and family resilience. Although the series is intended to support Army Corps values, each video also encourages the viewer to reflect on their current prominent values in specific situations and to consider what values may be more appropriate to means and results that are honorable and helpful with others. Chaplain Dillard initiates creating and posting these videos. Their contents and YouTube's linked videos do not necessarily reflect specific beliefs, practices, requirements, or endorsements of the Department of Defense, its subordinate organizations, or other groups with which Chaplain Dillard is affiliated. Welcome back. In one of the previous videos, we looked at how family values are formed using a tool called a genogram. In that video, I referenced the terms closeness and flexibility as two of the important dynamics that contribute to the formation of family values, or explain them. I'd like to go into more detail about what those are, why they're significant, to understanding the need for a balance of leadership in particular for families. Now, whether you define family as biological family, by marriage, your work family, your social family, it's still the same if we define family as a group of people who spend lots of time together, who need to share similar values, similar purpose, similar structure in order to be successful. Now, if you've ever seen or if you play a single court sport such as racquetball, handball, tennis, where's the best place to play? It's in the center, right? Because the center allows you to shift left or right, forward or back, to adjust to any extreme plays on the court. If you tend to play only in one corner, then you can't respond quickly as you need to move to an opposite corner. So it's best, as much as possible, to play in the center. This is a slide that depicts exactly that. From top to bottom, you can see that this is about task orientation. From left to right, this is about people orientation. Now, in the military, we say mission first and people always. Mission is about the task. It's about structure and authority, either a high amount or a low amount. We say people always, which is left to right, about those relationships, whether they need to be very close or sometimes more isolated based on the mission. The point here is that we need to know, first of all, where do we like to play? Where do you like to play as an individual? And be honest with yourself. It's probably not dead center. Now, if you noticed, the center is green, a little further out is amber, and further out still is red. That's to indicate the further out you go from the center, the higher the risk. Because we can't stay there long, we can't get others to join us there for a long time, and it will be more difficult for us to play the rest of the court because of where we are in that position. So, as much as possible, we want to return to center court. So the first point is, you've got to know, where do you like to play? That's self-awareness. Second, where does your team or your family need to play based on the situation they're in? And that could be preparing for a Thanksgiving meal and having families over. It could be the process of requesting action from another work team. It could be attending a meeting. It could be turning in a report. There's some type of task that your family or that your team is going through, and you prefer to play in one spot of the court, but the team, based on the situation, might need to play in a different spot. Third point is, measure the difference between those 2 points, wherever that is on there. The greater the distance, the more stress there will be for you, because you know that you like to play up here, but the team in this situation needs to play down here. The closer you are, the less stress. So fourthly, list out the pros and cons of staying where you are versus coming closer to where the team needs to be. Next, make the adjustments that you need to make. And lastly, return to center court as much and as often as possible. This study is based on over 1,200 clinical, formal observations and case studies of families and over the last 30 years since the early 1980s, and it shows that the families that work in the middle as much as possible have much higher success at happiness, joy, but also functioning in what they want to accomplish. Those that operate in the extremes are more dysfunctional, lots of anger, bitterness, lots of depression, lots of violence. So we want to play the center as much as we can. Hope that's helpful. See you next time. At the release date of this video, I am stationed with Research Development and Engineering Command, RDECOM, at Aberdeen Proving Ground, Maryland. Because the majority of our personnel are in this area, I spend most of my time here. I do, however, travel to our distant units based on command priorities and budget. I place these videos on YouTube for broad visibility to Army personnel and their families, but I hope the videos will be helpful to others too. If you are assigned to RDECOM and want to request specific topics by video, training on site or by VTC, or confidential counseling on site or by secure webcam, you can contact me at jeffrey.d.dillard.mil@mail.mil.